This week in Louisiana agriculture.
I'm Avery Davidson in St. Landry Parish, where a warm winter and a wet harvest makes a pretty ugly wheat crop. I'll have that story coming up.
I'm A.J. Sabine. I'll have the first profile of one of 3 finalists for the Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award. Find out what drives Bobby and Melissa Morris to make their sugar operation the best in the state.
And we'll break out the crock pot in Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen, where Holly and AJ show you the low and slow way to cook great tasting Louisiana beef. Hello everyone, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for joining us on this week's program. Louisiana wheat won't have the $109 million impact on the economy it had in 2011. The warm winter and late rains seem to have diminished yields, and some farmers say they might not plant wheat at all next year. As This Week in Louisiana Agriculture's Avery Davidson shows us, the only good thing about this year's wheat crop was what it taught those who developed new wheat varieties.
Charles Canatella is cutting his last field of wheat this season. Canatella planted 350 acres of winter wheat, a decision he's now second-guessing.
I didn't think it would be this bad, but we'll see.
All right, let's see if we can find one that's...
Dr. Stephen Harrison develops new varieties of wheat for the LSU Ag Center. He has very little good to say about this year's wheat crop.
It'll be good to get it behind us.
Harrison says many farmers were optimistic while planting in November.
We've had 3 very good wheat growing years in a row. And then we got this year where it was too warm, it was too wet, we had too many storms. Just about everything that you can do to a wheat plant that would impact its growth has happened.
Canatella sees the impact in his grain bin.
Yields have been a little disappointing compared to the last 2 or 3 years. We've been averaging 70, 80 bushel wheat, and this year we're somewhere in the 40 and 50 bushel yield, so it's been off a little bit.
Harrison says plant disease is one reason for decreased yields.
We had a lot of bacterial streak, which is a bacteria as the name implies. We had a lot of septoria, which is a fungus. We had some tan spot that we don't see a whole lot, another fungus, and those are diseases that are spread by high rainfall, splashing of spores up the plant, rubbing of wet leaves together. You know, a lot of the conditions that we had this year, more so than normal.
Another factor working against this year's wheat crop is the cost of fertilizer. Canatella says he spent $850 per ton for urea.
Really, the only reason I planted wheat this year is because I sold this crop last year and had it at a good price. And so I decided to go ahead and plant this year. But the prices are down, probably about $3 less than what we were getting last year. And with the high fertilizer price, if you didn't sell some last year at the high price, you're gonna maybe get your money back. If you got a good yield, you'll get your money back. If not, you're gonna lose money.
And if those prices do not change between now and November, Canatella may not plant wheat next season. In St. Landry Parish, I'm Avery Davidson for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
Dr. Harrison says the bad year for wheat also meant a bad year for some of his research. He says test fields at 3 research stations did so poorly that he could not use any of the data he collected. Last year, Louisiana wheat growers planted more than 200,000 acres of wheat.